Episode 11.
Episode 11.
Make sure the audio is still
Swappa.
going.
No, I'm just kidding.
Sponsored by Swappa. No, what do you say? Hit the no.
The which one? No subscribe, no ads.
Yeah. No, we're not endorsing.
Well, we're not endorsing. No, we were just talking about. We're just let's jump into a random topic here. We're talking about holidays. We got a week for Christmas. Gifts are going out.
Trying to do side jobs and
side jobs.
I fixed that ice maker. It's for sale.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Anybody want an under-counter ice maker? Hit me up. Scotsman.
Oh, never mind. I can't disclose.
But anything like you. I use Craigslist. I used to use eBay a lot.
I don't know if I trust Craigslist that much anymore. I don't know why.
I'll ride with you whenever you're ready, bro.
Oh, I've never.
It's that kind of. That's the kind of trust you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, you remember the last time you came with me? Even granted, it was a dentist that bought. What I sold them some Tundra part.
I don't know.
And I don't know. I just
you
don't
didn't.
trust.
I didn't go with you that time, right?
You did, remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The guy came out. We were all nervous, like, "Yo, who's getting out the car?" And it was just like, "Oh, here's my card. I own my own dentist." Like, "Oh, okay." He's just another human being. I don't know why. Even Facebook Marketplace, like I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Facebook Marketplace.
It's like Craigslist, kinda. Isn't it like Craigslist?
Yeah. Actually, I take that back. If I had to rate, now that we're talking about buying and selling websites, I'd probably say Facebook Marketplace. I really like.
Yeah.
Let go.
People you know. It's like, and then I like the option now where you just go into the marketplace.
That is dedicated.
And then you select all the groups. And then even on the top, you can click your profile. So your profile has the the sponsor.
It's funny because I learned a trick on it because I'm been reading up a little bit, like flipping cars and stuff like that, like trying to buy in other places.
Yeah.
And one of the things they talk about that kind of Facebook Marketplace has exposed is you can always know if you're buying, like, obviously if I'm trying to buy a car to flip it, I don't want to buy it from another flipper because that means he's already, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying that there's not a deal, but...
Do you want to know who murders that theory?
Who?
My brother-in-law, David.
What?
You see David on Facebook?
Yeah.
He will buy something from somebody and turn around and sell it to the mother effer's next door neighbor.
Oh, yeah. He's a good flipper.
He's a good flipper.
Yeah.
He's like the boss of that. But I know your theory. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's kind of... Like,
well, you could tell
they know
now
you're buying
because
it, how much you're buying it for.
Well, you could tell now because of their profile. I didn't realize you could see previous sales. And you're like, all right, what are the odds this dude's selling 15 cars? You know what I mean?
Man. But he it's funny how David could go from this person and then pull it, then fix it and double it. And people even question him, it's double what you bought it for. I saw you buy it for this. He's like, I fixed it. It's running now. It's got this, and this on it.
He's got the
It's
skill
got brakes,
for it.
lights, battery. Come on now.
Yeah.
You should have bought it and installed it. And then, then you would have saved that money. But here,
man.
I did it for you. It's ready to go. Boom, boom, boom.
There's a market.
Capitalist, or what do they call that? Venture capitalist?
Yeah.
Adventure capitalist.
Adventure capitalist. Corner these, like you said, he's got his thing going, and he's making money at the end of the day. That's all that matters.
But yeah, it is that time of year to try to get that extra couple dollars together.
Hey, that's what I found. I mean, just going around the house, I found some iPads I wasn't using. They're like brand new, so
and put them on Swappa.
It's a good place to, honestly, especially around
better
this
than
time.
eBay, huh?
I'd say yes. The problem with eBay is because this website's dedicated to buying electronics.
Okay.
And they guarantee it. They actually have like private comment sections. So when you buy something, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
But eBay, I've been scammed on eBay twice. I still to this day I have a claim out with PayPal. Never got my money. Never got my phone. Like,
how much are you out?
I was not back then. It was like $120. I mean, it was still hurt me back then. You know what I mean? And it just sucks because I never even got the phone back after like the person did a PayPal protection thing. It was like, well, shit.
Wow.
How was I forced to return money?
Yeah.
And then I never even got my product back. Like,
dang.
But
the Craigslist version of that is like 1,000 times worse.
Yeah, that's where you just
I lost.
Give me your.
Not only that, yeah, kind of. Or I lost $3,500.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
On that off-road vehicle that I had.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
$3,500 at least. I mean, that's the bottom dollar I'll put on. I could have made $5,000 on that.
Yeah.
I could have made $5,000 on that, but
couldn't do it.
That's the Craigslist. I mean, the risk for Craigslist is very high.
Honestly, it's crazy because I just don't like the negotiations. I don't like the you post something like you came with me that time. Remember that time we went to go sell those beats
over the
bridge? Like, if you weren't there, I would have got fucking out. They were gonna jump me.
Yeah. That's
like,
turn the interior cab light on. Like,
yeah, like hello.
He's got a homeboy.
Yeah, like the car's not on for a reason. Like,
Squad up.
I just hate that. Like, people just, I get it. Everybody wants to get a good deal and stuff, but it's just like, yo, this is what I have to sell. Make me one offer. If I say no, move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, that when you have Craigslist, you put your phone number on there. You get these probably these awful or insulting offers. You know, you post something for $1,000, I'll give you $400 cash money right now. Oh my God, leave me alone.
I've learned it almost, like, if you're gonna be in that kind of business where you're constantly selling stuff, it's almost worth, like, there's apps now where you can pay $10 a month to have like a second number. It's worth it because
GoDaddy.
Well, yeah, there's GoDaddy, Sideline, Number, Lime. There's so many.
Yeah, MagicJack was the first one that we used when I worked at a job posting on Craigslist.
Yeah,
we just used that MagicJack, and everybody around had the secondary.
That's how people
phone
get
number.
Your number, and you just get these random ass calls. All like,
yeah.
I mean, you obviously know me. I'm the king of change. Like, I'm the king of getting new numbers, and it's just no matter what, I'll get a new number, won't use it, and then coincidentally, I posted somewhere once, and it's like all of a sudden I'm getting all the calls, and coincidentally, you know, I'm getting all the IRS scams and all that crap. Like, it's ridiculous, bro.
MagicJack worked. We had a corner on that. We used to work at a place where we'd post on Craigslist all day. Like, that was someone's job. We're in the warehouse fixing appliances.
Yeah.
On this side, a bunch of people fixing, and then a bunch of people cleaning, and then a long work desk like this with several computers, people posting on Craigslist. And you'd hear across the warehouse someone would just yell out a 4-digit number. And it was the MagicJack secondary number had to have different numbers. Uh-huh. So all of us would give up our number just to get a text. We wouldn't get the marketing thing that you're talking about, but we would get the not GoDaddy. We would get the MagicJack text. Like, this is the verification code, and you'd have to yell it to the desk. 2235. And then they'd type it in. Thank you.
It's crazy how technology's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird because I think
that was us using that in that way, you know, just making it work.
That was your way, creative way.
But now it's just so, you know, probably so much.
You don't think phones have peaked, like technology? You don't think we're coming to like a peaking point?
Yeah, honestly. Plateau.
Yeah.
I don't know what. Like we were talking last time, it's like a tile thing. It's just gonna get thinner, maybe more durable. But we were saying recently, why aren't they durable already?
Yeah.
But there's no money in that.
I don't know why every week that goes on, I think about it more and more, like how does an industry that's so big and makes so much money, like just be hurting and like losing jobs? Like, I feel like this past week was the week of a lot of companies just cutting people's jobs, like just to build on like what we talk about every week.
Where'd you see that info?
GM officially another 14,000, Verizon 10,000.
Yeah. I had some of that shit.
Where was this other
Bitcoin's
company?
Still going down.
Bitcoin's gonna be interesting. I found some new facts this week in my studies. Some new facts to relay, and you know what? Let's use this to see if I'm right. This is based off. I'm not taking credit for none of this, but just research via Twitter, via different websites, blogs, other people's thoughts. We're 7 weeks away from matching. So a bear market is like basically a pullback market. It's where a price just continues to go down and down.
Yeah.
And the longest Bitcoin bear market, I don't remember how many weeks it is, but I just know we're 7 weeks away from matching that time frame. So of course everybody's curious, like, does that mean, like, are we gonna go further than that point? Like, is this gonna become the longest bear market ever?
Right.
Or when we hit 7 weeks, with sometime after those 7 weeks, are we gonna start seeing the price, you know, slowly start creeping back up and then to these extreme highs again? Like, and it's so funny now when I thought about it, I'm like, all right, so in 7 weeks, coincidentally, I think what are we in, December? Yeah, we're like 7 to 8 weeks away from the FCC's decision whether if they're going to make a Bitcoin futures. They've already delayed it twice, and you can only delay those type of hearings 3 times. And just what a coincidence! Like, so they have to give the whole crypto world has to have a decision the second week of February, either first or second week, to basically say, hey, we approve Bitcoin futures or we don't approve it. So if they do approve it, that's like a major move for Bitcoin.
it's gonna go to the moon.
I don't think it'll go to the moon immediately, but it's gonna start like
it's gonna climb.
It's gonna climb.
It's gonna climb. But right now, it's at a scary decline.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I can. I mean, I see it every day on Twitter.
I didn't write the number down. I just wrote down it's still going down.
Well, its lowest is 31.92 now.
Yeah.
We're hovering right above 3,000.
I'm still up. Are you?
On what? No, I don't have any Bitcoin.
None?
No, actually, now it's very enticing to buy Bitcoin for me. It's actually affordable for me now. Before, I mean, I have $10,000. I mean, I could buy bits and pieces of a Bitcoin, right, but it would be nice to own like a full Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just.
When's the last time it was this low? 16? A couple years ago.
No, 3,000. When it started.
Oh yeah, it was 3,500. Yeah, you're right. 3,500 in 2016.
And yeah, in 2016 it was. So yeah, back then it was. Yeah, because it started climbing.
And that's like when you saw the cryptocurrency signs on the side of the freaking road.
Yes. Well, yesterday marked a year from when it hit 19,000. So that's what they were like. It's a cold Bitcoin December.
Oh shit!
Because last December everybody was like balling on Bitcoin, like, yeah, man, I was just going to the moon. I'm buying a new house in January, like, and then it just.
That's when all the news about those guys in Puerto Rico, all the winners from Bitcoin kind of settled in Puerto Rico.
I think it's just like anything else. Not necessarily saying it's a bubble. Like I think it's gonna have some wave in the future, but the way it just captured everybody's attention out of nowhere, and it's funny when you think about it. When it was $19,000, people didn't care. There was more buyers at $19,000 than there is at $3,000.
FOMO.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like that. I don't know. I never thought about that when I heard somebody.
They lost now though. They're so far down.
The dude that sold his house and shit. You know what I mean? Sold his house and put all his money in.
Like, even if he,
unless he saved his money,
it was at 8,000 then. It was at 8,000.
No, he bought it when it was around like the 15,000, 19,000.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He sold his house and his family went on the road and everything.
Oh my God!
And he's just like but that's to his respects though, he did say that this wasn't like a get rich quick scheme. Like he's like I believe in this so much that I know it's gonna take 5 to 10 years to play out, but when it does, I'll be sitting good.
Yeah.
And I mean when you think about it,
he might be right, especially if they approve the futures.
Yeah, the future. Well, I think.
How is that? How you're saying that? You're saying that like they're approving that there's going to be a future for Bitcoin, or are you saying
no?
Futures is
like
the title?
Is like a security. It's like a. I'm still
a backing.
Reading, I'm still.
It's like a backing.
It's almost like a federal like stamp. Like, hey, this is good. Like we have NASDAQ futures. We have Dow futures. I'm still reading up on futures, so I don't want to give misinformation. But it's going to be it's an approval. Value? That means somebody's regulating it.
Stock. Okay.
Yeah. It's almost you can consider it's almost like a stock approval.
Yes.
Like it's good. Like it's like a stamp. Like hey, we're backing XYZ. And the problem is, from my understanding with futures, is something has to back it, and that's always been the scrutiny. Is like what really backs Bitcoin?
Blockchain.
Yeah, it's got to be something. Like the U.S. dollar, being backed by gold and all that, it's
not
like,
anymore. Yeah, that's not since.
Not anymore, but like back in the day when it first,
Yeah, that was the foundation of it.
Yeah, so it's curious. I mean, man, this is gonna be a scary end to the next 2 weeks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna.
The stock market's like a game, man, isn't it? It's not even like the traditional, like. I don't know, like the honorable thing that they thought it was, or like everybody thinks it is. Not like the behavior pattern, blah blah blah.
Dude, I've come to realize that the stock market's been not ripping people off, but it's always been under scrutiny since day one. Like this shit dates back to like the 1800s when like the stock market was, people were still trading. It's all speculation. It's all you and I on the different sides of the world, and you want it at this price, I want it at this price.
People think it'd be like bricks of gold or something. Value, and then it's so fluid.
Yeah,
and it's not even like solid at all.
And I've learned the way these companies, like I never understood like when there's a thing called a reverse split, and it's kind of like when a company needs to raise funds. So they'll split the company or they'll lower the shares. But when they do it, you always see and it's always like these little bullshit companies in the penny stocks. You'll see for that one moment, that stock within an hour, let's say it, just massive run up, just to attract the average day traders, different people in the market, different investors. And what they're doing is they're buying. They have their people on the NASDAQ floor, and they're buying in between everybody's orders, raising money. And then you have like guys like me or somebody else that are somebody's losing.
So they keep the behavior going.
Yeah, they keep it just to raise money. We need to raise $6 billion or $6 billion.
As in the owners of NASDAQ?
Well, no, the company. So the company will have people that'll, trade or whatever. They'll have somebody trading for them on the floor.
And in between each one, they'll throw an extra.
They're buying. They're buying and selling in between. They're called market makers. Like, I'm just learning this shit, and it's just like, it's crazy.
Can market makers be bought?
Yeah.
They probably don't even let them in.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
Like, something was wrong with my computer. Oh, yeah, you're fired. You didn't place that order?
That shit is serious.
I bet.
To be a trader on the NASDAQ, like, floor, like, that shit is...
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the
guy running with the ticket.
Yeah.
and then the big tower with the lights and the different things around it.
That's crazy. Like, that.
NYC.
I would love to go visit one day, but you got to be sponsored.
What do you say?
You got to be sponsored to actually enter the floor. Like, they used to let, like, your
buy
average
an
Joe...
agency?
Or just somebody that's already there saying, hey, we'll let this guy in.
Right.
He's
what is that?
Blah, blah, blah.
Press or no?
Like a press, yeah, almost.
Okay. Like a press pass?
Yeah.
What's that thing where it's like and then the podium in the middle? What's that?
Where they ring the opening bell and the closing bell?
Oh, okay. That's the beginning of the day and the end of the day?
Yeah. They always, they pick a company to open and then they pick a company to close.
Oh, okay.
So that's when they invite the company. Hey, you're gonna ring the bell today. This is.
And if
blah,
a company
blah, blah.
goes public, they usually ring the bell for the first day.
Tencent went public this week. That's China's competitor for Spotify. Like, they're called Tencent.
Tencent.
Like, the name is horrible.
Is
like
10 cents a song?
I don't know. Probably. Like,
awesome title. If that's true.
The thing is, like,
because they're $1 a song right now, or 99 cents a song right now.
Like, honestly, some of these companies, like, I don't even know why. Like, Uber's talking about filing next year. Like, why? Like, we're at the end of the cycle. Like, why fucking go public now? Like, all these companies that are going public,
they're
just failing.
Juice and squeeze.
That's really all they're doing.
I don't even know what I just said. To get more
squeeze, the short squeeze.
Juice out of the squeeze. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway,
China
go public is usually good for a company, isn't it?
Man, I don't know. I mean, yes, it's good
for their employees. Just give them ESOP all the way, right?
Well, it's because they do it to raise funds. But sometimes I think about it and I think back to, like, Elon's tweet.
What?
Like,
what's that? The 420 tweet?
Yeah, that one. But by the way, Tesla's doing amazing. Like, they made they made a complete turnaround.
Oh yeah,
but
his interviews lately have been awesome. Have you listened to him?
Yeah, he's like it's like if. It's like if somebody flipped the switch and it's like now everybody loves Tesla. Their stock is doing amazing. They're doing great things. Their production time is up. They're not burning through money no more. Like,
and he owns interviews. Like, he's vernacularly getting better at talking to people and covering his, like, people used to kind of dress him down a little bit. Now the ladies asking him, about smoking pot, and he kind of owned it. Like,
that's the thing.
The way he replies back to her and the way he replied back about several other things that she was dressing him down, and I'm like, good for you, man. Kind of own that shit.
He didn't care.
I don't know if people can hear that, but that's
that's the purge bell, guys. It's the end of the bell here.
That sounds like a fire truck. It
does.
Honking. What were we talking about? Oh, Elon. Yeah, Elon kind of owning this shit, man.
Oh, you owning this shit, and
man, you were saying. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but you were saying about going back to Elon's tweet about going public.
About going public, where as a company you just have so much pressure. Like, when you become a publicly traded company, it's like
he hates
when
those.
you're private, it's just you're private. You know what I mean? Only people are in your business if they want to be. When you're public, it's like, oh fuck, every 3 months here we go again. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, we missed production by one fucking car.
Oh yeah, because you have to address your stockholders.
Yeah, you got to address the
and
board.
Then there's those people that he hates.
Short sellers.
He hates short sellers, huh?
God,
he hates them. And he'll talk about it publicly too.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's pretty cool. Like, there's shareholders and he's talking crap about them.
Yeah, those short sellers. Yeah, go grab one. Those short sellers are crazy, man. When they hate a company, you got to be careful, because every day that bell rings, their main job is to try to bring that bitch down. Like,
That's crazy.
I've actually shorted a couple companies as of recently, and it feels evil.
It's like being on a train that hope gets derailed.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's all electronic, so they're like, let's see if we can sabotage this bitch and make money on it.
When you ever see, like, a short squeeze attack, like, it's the craziest thing. Like, company, you wouldn't think about it, or, like, I wouldn't think about it, but you're like, oh, wow. I mean, they just shorted their stock down, $10, $15, but that's, like, that could be, like, $1 million that they lose. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Do they sell when everybody's selling to bring it down? Short sellers?
They cover. So
they cover.
It's almost like
God almighty, it's so many terms.
Yeah,
it's more than.
It's weird because like when short sellers they borrow shares to sell it back to buyers at a cheaper price and they profit from the drop down. Like it's crazy. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like I'm learning something new every.
Well, when
every
you
day.
give that to someone as a full-time job,
Oh, these people that are shorting, these aren't like you're like me, like shorting at a home. Like these are like companies that
That's
say,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
like, we hate this company. Yeah. We're gonna short them
with thousands of people on staff.
Yep, millions of dollars. Yep, just bring the bitch down.
Yeah, simultaneously
and profit.
What are you calling it? Placing orders. That's all it comes down to, right?
Yeah,
is ultimately placing orders
and
buying
knowing.
And
it's almost like it's tricks. It's just knowing how to squeeze the buyers so that when they lose, you profit. Because that's all the stock market is now.
It's all behavior.
Yeah.
And barely like the company's true public standing. Like, like they're somewhat. Somewhat of their, like, Target gets protested outside of and their stock goes down.
Well, you got to see the work that these guys
You've seen
do.
that, right?
Yeah.
They protest outside of Target, and then Target stock drops.
Yep.
That's another factor. That's insane.
That's the fear.
So you got to watch the news along with the behavior charts and factors. And good God,
dude. I'm telling you, I never realized it until
nuts.
I actually saw like the actual. I forgot. Like I think it was like Vice or something. Did like the life of a short seller, and it was they interviewed and followed a female short seller at that single lady. She hated a pharmaceutical. I want to say yes. I think she worked for a big place, but she was like higher up there. You know what I mean? She has her own private trading desk, but
she hates a pharmaceutical company.
It was a pharmaceutical company, and I mean, you're talking all this shit is public knowledge. So all the info and data that she was gathering about the company was you just have to go out there and look. I mean, you're talking FCC filings. Like, dude, there were just mounds of research and just her building on her case as to why this company is basically like worthless. Like they're a shit company, and then you sell that idea to XYZ other people, and then come to find out like she was right, and her thoughts and homework and studies brought the stock down like in 2 months, like 90%, bro. You're talking like derail the company, bro. Derailed the company, and it was true. It's because they were greedy as fuck. Like the pharmaceuticals
seemed personal more than professional.
It was.
She took that shit to heart.
That's the thing about these short sellers. They don't really. It's not that they're not professional. They're very professional. Like if you see their work, I'm talking like highlights and sticky notes and.
Oh yeah.
You ever seen the movie The Accountant? Like shit like that. Like
dry erase board going crazy.
Dry erase boards, like just breaking down a company and reading in between the text
and those
lines.
Legal sheets, those legal pads, right?
Yep.
They're just full.
What?
Oh, wow.
I'm over here trying to read like a chart just so I can get like a quick buck on a short.
Right.
These people are like throwing fucking documents, like months of research. You know what I mean? Like,
wonder what they went to school for originally. I know they had
a lot of them just
mathematics. A lot of them
like
are
mathematics. There's actually, I didn't even realize this. There's only 2 females that work on the NASDAQ floor, and one of them, the guy talks about why he hired her. She had I don't remember if it was a master's or a bachelor's, but in some kind of like geology or something that like. It takes a lot to like a lot of thinking. So he knew that for her to complete that type of degree, like
geology.
I don't think it was geology.
I think geology's rocks, bro.
Hey man, she was studying rocks. She could study charts. No, I don't think it was geology. It was one of those like intense degrees that requires like a lot of critical thinking, and he's just the CEO of the company. Just like, well, shit, if she can go through that, this bitch can trade charts. You know what I mean? She could trade companies. And from my understanding, she's doing pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Or mainly probably like accounting and.
I don't know. I think it's just.
What kind of question would that? What kind of question is that? Like, what degree do you need to be a short seller? I mean, or a.
Well, just a trader. She's
just a trader.
And those people are
best degree to get to go into that field.
I don't even know, because that field, it's crazy because those people actually truly only. I found this out too. Like, I would never. I promise you, I don't think I would ever want to work like as a professional trader, like for a firm, like in charge of other people's money, because
right. Yeah, we talked about that. Touched about that a little bit last time.
Fuck no. Like, you're in charge of, like you say, people's livelihoods, and you make that one mistake, and then your boss is like, well, there's your bonus. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they live off their bonuses, because their bonus is millions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They get paid good hourly, or whatever salary-wise, but their real bread and butter is, okay, cool, you brought our company in, XYZ $1 million this year. Oh, here's a check for $700,000,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hundreds of thousands, man.
Just like
they get good commissions all year long, and then at the end of the year, they're like, okay, here's a
penthouse.
What is it? Is it gonna be a couple 100,000? Is it gonna be a couple million?
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Reminds me of the show Billions.
What an awesome, what an awesome job. Like with.
It's very stressful, high stress job
with no ceiling.
Yeah.
How come that's not an option in high school when they're teaching the kids, or when we were in high school? The stock market is that
because they don't talk
that
about
much
that. They don't talk
doctors,
about wealth.
lawyers, and
they don't talk.
And what?
I don't even think they really talk about. Not come to think about it, in high school, they really don't talk about
No.
I don't remember being in high school and they're talking about like, oh, you.
If they did, they touched on it a little bit for investment for retirement. That's it. That's all they would really tell us, is like, that's where your retirement money is. What?
I think one time in what was it, economics classroom, they teach you how to balance a checkbook.
On a workbook, like a sheet of paper.
Yeah, like how to balance. Bro, I don't even know how to fucking balance a checkbook. Like, I need to understand how like a FICO score works. You know what I mean? Like real world shit. Like that's.
Home ec was gone. Shop was gone.
Yeah, that's when.
Agriculture was there, but that was because we live in an agriculture
town.
town.
Cook. Oh, just kidding.
An entire generation.
Yeah. Look at our grandmas and stuff. They know how to cook and whip it up in the kitchen. That's all they did.
Yeah, it's crazy how women talk about it when they're not here. It's kind of scary. But women have been so liberated by stages of different things throughout time, but beginning with a weird one. Like menstruation. Is that like when the period happens, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Period. Just being able to contain that with like toiletries and like, I guess, tampons and pads and stuff, that liberated them so much just to get to work and be able to, like hygienically.
Are we talking about the period, or are we talking about getting rid of the period?
Period. Like having a period in general. Like they used to be like kind of shunned away and kept at home for like a whole week, but now ever since they had the hygiene products to do that, it kind of liberated them to be in work instead of
I got you.
And
I never thought about that.
And then voting, and ever since voting was another step, was just like,
and now actually being in
the workplace,
in Congress,
and in the military, and in the police force, and it's like equality across the board. And then it kind of goes over the edge a little bit where it's like the girl guarding the White House and a female guarding the front door of the White House. Like you said,
that the working woman has like evolved, like you said.
But don't go over the edge with equality. Still kind of be practical, You
trying to say that like inequality rights or something?
Not inequality rights, but don't like there's a, what is that? I'm trying to find. I'm so bad with words. Diversity. Like there's forced diversity in things that just let the natural habits of people find their slots. Like when there's forced diversity in a TV show, you see it. Black guy, white guy, Chinese guy, white girl, Chinese girl, black girl, boom, boom. It's like, okay, we got everybody covered. All right, now let's be creative. What the fuck?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's forced
like,
diversity. I mean,
I can see it. That's like why you see most of these shows, these popular new in thing is the like making sure that somebody in the show is transgender.
yeah,
That's the new in thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or having someone act gay, or someone be gay but not say they're gay and act gay, and oh my god, the forced diversity is so obvious. Like, come on, be real. But and then to force that diversity when it comes to the safety of the fucking White House, a guy busted in the White House and then pushed a female that was guarding it off to the side and ran around the White House for a little bit until they finally caught him.
Recently?
No, it was like 2014 or some shit.
Jeez,
I know, but the crazy. Some stand-up comedian had a bit about it. I forgot who it was, but
oh shit! Speaking of that,
what?
Oh, and you
Come
just
on.
oh you just okay.
Good,
you just
good,
made
good.
me remember.
I was kind of rambling.
No, you know what? When do they air Saturday Night Live? It should already be. Does it air at midnight
Right now.
or is it on now? I know for a fact. You saw the snap I sent you, and I know everybody that's listening to this had to have heard about
the Trump
rant. The rant.
Yeah.
You know, yes. You know, Saturday Night Live is going to talk about that. They're going to do a skit.
CNN was saying, "Oh shit,
Does that work?
Yeah. Oh shit. Ooh, something happened. It's gonna go off right now. Hopefully I didn't fuck something up. Technical difficulties, people. Better.
That was it beeping all the cuss words out.
CNN was saying that what was I saying? What the fuck? That beeping fucked me up. Oh, CNN was saying this is an SNL skit waiting to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it.
It's so perfect. Like, honestly, I really enjoyed watching the
Facebook
skit.
Things are already happening, like the talking heads.
Yes.
Like it's just a cartoon head, and they're cussing and screaming.
I forget. It was so hilarious. Like, what I think they said that this has never happened in history where a negotiation, I guess you can call it negotiation, was actually filmed. Like, the press weren't supposed to be there.
It was supposed to be a private conversation.
Yeah.
Know?
That's Saturday Night Live, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guarantee
But,
I guarantee it was the
copyright
opening
infringements.
skit.
I can't play the audio.
Well, no, we won't play the audio. I mean,
We can watch it for a little bit and then come back on.
that's what I'm saying. If we pause just to see, we could probably
Matt
find.
Damon's on.
We can probably find the skit. We're gonna take a recession to see if we can find the skit.
Is it still going?
I don't know. Are we still live?
Ready? Okay, we did not see it yet.
Surprisingly,
Maybe we'll talk about it next time.
Yep, they did not air a skit, so they're preparing something really good, or maybe it's just not available yet. But
Right.
no skit.
But we were talking about that crazy argument that he had with obvious opposing people. I mean, these people obviously opposed him, and he allowed the press to come right on into the Oval Office, and then they had a shouting match.
It just makes our country, in
And
my eyes,
they
it makes our country
did
look
not
weak.
orchestrate the whole thing very well. They were just
No.
blabbing on. "And it's going to be a good deal. I'm not going to take it if it's not going to be a good deal." I mean, he talks like fucking like an arrogant.
It's like, bro. Honestly,
arrogant
it
businessman.
was like brother and sister and brother having like an argument, and then you got like the other, like the mute
I'm not
brother
doing
in
the
back.
dishes. You're doing the dishes. It's not my turn. Well, we agreed this early. Oh my god. and Chuck Schumer,
Yeah,
that's a measly looking
Yeah,
guy,
just
would
measly.
never look at Trump.
Come here,
and he
Nancy.
kind of looked at the cameras and he kind of versed off a couple times. You seen that?
We're done, Nancy. Let's leave.
No, like he hit a couple. He said a couple of zingers that you think you looked, and it looked like he was trying to get a reaction from people. This is not a action reaction type of situation. You're
Bro, the
just
White
turn
House
to
is
the
becoming a reality show.
person and have a conversation with them. Don't try to be pulling a zinger on somebody. Let me make sure audio's working. But yeah, what else were you talking about?
That was the main topic right there. Just, I don't know.
Hold on, we got technical difficulties. Make sure it's still working. Okay, yeah, it's still working.
Still working?
Yeah, it's still working. But yeah, just a crazy shouting match in the Oval Office is nuts, man. That's not the way to handle things.
No. To me, it's making our country look like... I'm guarantee some of these other countries are probably like laughing at us like, oh, they can't even keep it together.
Keep it together, like psychologically, yeah. Like,
yeah,
like
that
all these
shit affects
like
the
you were
fucking
saying.
everything. It shit affects the markets. Like, it's just so crazy, man. Like,
The psychology of today is gone crazy, man, because nobody really has a backbone and like some kind of moral rule book. The Bible's kind of, not to judge or not to accuse everybody's religion, but the Bible's kind of scientifically been put aside.
Somebody mentioned that to me this past week.
In not only politics but school and public eye. It can't be used as like a moral, like put your hand on the Bible in the court and like a moral, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but like a moral thing, like
respect almost.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have the backbone. It's not used as the backbone anymore, so it's kind of like freedom of speech and freedom of expression is like testing all kinds of morals now, where they're pushing boundaries and see how we don't know where the boundaries kind of formally lay. Where they ethically lay. Don't oppress people. Don't take advantage of people.
I think it's the internet.
Yeah,
just the internet kind of.
But
internet's changed everything. The fact that everybody has access to information now, it's just kind of.
But the access to information is so good.
It's good. It's
so good.
It's good and bad.
Yeah.
Just look at our kids. Look at the amount of information they have access to at such a young age when their brains are a sponge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think back to like us. Like, let's be honest. At 4 years old, did we want to like read? You know what I mean? Or
if we had to search a random topic, we had to open up a book.
Yeah, and then,
encyclopedia,
exactly.
And it had a shelf of different things.
Now they could just watch a million different YouTube videos, and it's just like, oh, Daddy, I know about this. Like, well.
How do you know what a concentration camp is?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Or an internment camp? I'm like, what? If I wanted to learn at the age of 10, if I wanted to know, or 11 now, if I wanted to know what an internment camp or the Holocaust was or something, I'd have to go in an encyclopedia. And now they just type it in Google and YouTube, and then they get a little instructional video on how everything went down.
That's what makes me wonder, like, nowadays in school, like, I get it. Kids probably don't. Well, I'm going to put quotations on that, have their cell phones on there. But what's to stop, like...
The teacher from using it.
Well, a teacher or, like, a smart aleck kid. Like, let's say the teacher's talking about something like you mentioned, like the Holocaust. Like, oh, blah, 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 Anne's diary and this. And then, like, the kid's just, like, Googling on his phone. Like, well, no, teacher, you're wrong. Because according to Google...
Cool. That's cool. The teacher should handle that neutrally.
I know, I agree.
Put your ego aside and... take that information in and put it up there as anecdotal if it's anecdotal, and throw it up here if it's reputable.
I agree.
And cast ego aside, because I've questioned teachers when I got kicked out of class, and I didn't have any phone or anything. Just get kicked out of class just by questioning things extensively. Yeah. You're supposed to be quiet in class, let everybody learn. I guess that's behavior, but. If like you said, if a kid has just a phone ready in the ready, just
Google expert,
ready to roll. Sorry, I keep looking at this damn. Make sure the audio's still working. But yeah, it's still working. But yeah, I hope the teacher would put his ego aside and kind of, take it as a learning experience for the whole room instead of what I experienced. You ever get in trouble in school? In high school, they can't come back for you for it. So go ahead and let some good stories roll, bro.
Are you sure?
God, everybody, look at you! I can see you.
Here, no,
go ahead, man.
Honestly, the
hold on,
the worst. Okay, you want to talk about dumb stories and like dumb things?
Shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I did some dumb shit in high school.
Probably the dumbest thing that I've ever done in high school in terms of like looking bad to like the faculty's eyes. This was in Moorhaven. Freaking the one day I choose to skip school with my girlfriend happens to be the same day that they were giving the Florida. Remember the FCAT writing test?
Oh my god!
So it
was like a test.
It's the test.
Beta test.
Like no, it was the physical Florida writing test. So, and the school has a rule. One, I didn't know, and then two, I didn't know that there was a rule that, like, so if you don't show up for the Florida the Florida test, the writing test, Like, they have to call your parents to say you weren't in school. So if I would have chosen any other day, it would just, they would just assume that, like, oh, he didn't come to school. His parents didn't come to school. Man, I got my ass whooped that day.
I bet.
Like, it was the most embarrassing thing. Like, I mean, I could go into details about the situation, but like,
because
my wife knows the story.
You were in Moorhaven from a couple years or a year or so.
Yeah, just one. It was 1 year. It was what was it? 10th grade. 10th grade. Just whatever. Wanted to skip school. Be cool. Just do some things.
Hang out.
Be
kids, man.
Then you get the phone call.
Wait a minute. What kind of phone did you have?
Okay, that's exactly where I was going. I said the best part about this story is I promise you, it's one of those memories that's like burned in my head. Is I just remember being at a certain place at just being off, and all of a sudden the beep beep.
Oh, Nextel.
It was the Nextel chirp, and it was the chick's mom, like, basically saying, like, loud. You remember the Nextel speakers when they were loud? They were loud, like.
The funny thing is, they could start talking.
That's just exactly what it was. Like,
it'd be a beep, beep, beep alert, or hold the walkie-talkie button down and just start talking, and everybody around can hear this.
And that's exactly what happened. Her backpack just started talking, like, and her mom was Spanish, and like,
where
the fuck you at?
What's going on?
She's beeping back, and she's just like, I'm in. Like, it's so funny. I remember her trying to play it off. She's like, I'm beep, mom, I'm in class. And then, like, it went silent, waited like 3-5 minutes, and then the mom beeps back. She's like, that's funny because I'm in your class and you're not here.
So she got the phone call and she went to the school.
Yeah, I had to freaking.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the mom went to the school, and then to make Matt, like, you could ask my dad anytime about the story, and he'll tell you his side. But I'll never forget, like, there was nothing worse than having to walk back to school at 2 p.m. School's out in half an hour, 40 minutes. And then I just remember walking into the office, never met this chick's mom. And
my god!
That's her first impression of me. Is just like, oh, you're the fucking the guy that skipped school with my daughter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then
I put a new level on that, bro.
Man,
I don't know if you heard my story.
Oh no, it was bad. I just remember my dad didn't realize he was on speakerphone in the guidance counselor's office, and he's just like, I'm gonna wring her neck. Like, kind of blaming it on her, like, if she forced bad things on me to skip.
Yeah.
Whatever. Funny. I look back now and it's just like, oh, yeah, whatever. I did it. You know what I mean?
That was funny how Nextel, you could just start talking, and it automatically
Mood killer. I'll leave it at that.
I bet.
Thanks, Nextel.
Oh
One chirp away.
What was their slogan?
It was like, I don't remember their slogan, but mine for them will be one chirp less.
Remember Boost Mobile?
Yes.
What was there?
Theirs was
Where are you at?
Where you at? Where you at? Oh, that was fucking. That was just as popular as Verizon's. Can you hear me now?
Oh, the guy walking around. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Oh man,
that's funny.
Good fucking times.
Old times.
Fucking. We could talk about it now because we're in that safe haven. We're married. Yeah. Even though you still bring it up and.
Talk about it, reminisce. Our brains have. I mean, we could even talk shit like when we were 20, 21. We can kind of still talk like we are completely different people from then. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you remember, like scientifically, the male brain doesn't even develop fully until 25, 26. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed. Different thinking.
Oh yeah,
patience.
That's probably why they make the insurance rate.
Yes, exactly.
25 and older, yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Right when you turn 25, insurance goes down. I mean, they have a scientific back to why they can discriminate, and they can do that legally.
I think there's these stages in our lives. Then you go from the stage of like, well, kind of we're in now, that 25 to 30, and then I feel like if you study most people that take a different turn in their life. It's usually when they're like in their early 30s. They're like setting themselves up for success in their 40s. And then from there on out, if everything went their way, it's like
kind of a scramble before 30 because 30 is a decade, kind of like a decade marker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just see that. I felt it, you know? Like I felt like like some kind of difference. It wasn't immediate. It was definitely gradual. And I don't know what, I couldn't really say an eye-opening day, but I could definitely say from 21, 22.
Technology, like I think technology's just changed. I mean, I think back. Look at my Honda, for instance. I mean, I've been working on Hondas since I was 18, 19 years old. And granted, I know them, I know them pretty good, and I know the work that I need to get done. But now I have two different levels of approach. Like I look at the way, like I got videos and I got, remember Threads before there was like Facebook communities and posts and groups? Remember Threads?
There was Threads with blogs and postings
Yes.
and pictures and
Like
yeah.
I
and
got
links.
Threads showing, swaps and stuff that I've
Yeah.
done and the way I approached it. And it's like I've tried to do those same things now, and it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I'm searching
Paralysis.
it differently. Yeah.
Paralysis almost. Like you're so afraid to get even started because there's like, God almighty.
Like, oh, man,
but
where do I
but those
begin?
forums.
Or there's just so much information now
Yeah.
on them that it's just like, fuck. You know what I mean?
And then there's so many different ways you can fabricate and
Yep.
this and that. But forums, I mean, you could just go down to like you own a '94 Chevy S10. You could be on a forum for 92 to 96 Chevy S10s, which is like an age range of that truck and like a similar trucks to it.
Those
And
were my favorite.
it's crazy.
Honestly, to this
You owned
day,
one. You owned one recently.
Yeah,
And
well-
flipped it.
well, no, this
S10s.
the best forum website I can honestly say was when I had my '94 Camry. It's kind of like what you said. It was man, what was the name of that website? Toyota. I think it was Toyota Nation or something like that. But nonetheless, like you said, it was almost like owning a manual. Like I would just go in, you would pick your generation of Toyota Camry,
Yep.
and it was just everything so beautifully stacked.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're having an electrical issue with your radio? Boom, electrical issues with radios.
Oh, and this is what I found help, and this is a cheap place to get it from.
Yep.
And sometimes you'd go into that link and it'd be expired,
Yeah.
but you'd have to just go right back down.
No,
and
you got
there'd
the
be
guys
more.
that like live on there, like that
Yes.
you could answer a question. It's just like, oh shit, he already
Yeah.
responded.
Do you ever go into the ones where there's a big banner on the top and the bottom?
Yeah,
Good for
Yeah.
them,
yeah,
because they got money.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's
good
what
for
it
them,
was.
right?
Yep.
Whoever
Google
organizes that
AdSense.
shit, bro, good for them because they're getting that paper. They're getting that money
Bro, that's
from
I
that
mean,
big banner being there.
Well, you look at like podcasts. To me, you know what podcasts are? Now that I'm thinking about it, a podcast is just the futuristic blog. That's
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, it's more advanced.
Yeah, as long as you have time to get your listeners acquainted or approached or addressed. This is what I'm going to be talking about. This is the
Yeah.
format. That's why I said there's no format. That's,
No.
that's why I didn't want to put a tab on. I didn't want to turn people away. But where is I going with that? I don't know. Yeah, it's like the futuristic blog because you have more time to take your time and explain it to the fullest rather
Yeah.
than condensing it down to what's Twitter's character length now?
Well, Twitter is
Condensing
like
it down to
240.
Twitter, but still not just Twitter, but like even in
Well,
that
you said
blog
the blog
posting, you still
website.
have to kind of
Yeah.
formulate it
Yeah.
without
We gotta write
like
an
I have your
article.
constant input right now, constant input, and you're kind of like you're by yourself, just down based up to a paragraph or so, or
Yep.
you know. But we could talk about I'm in my garage, so we could do something like that. Throw this bitch on the table, whatever it is. Like if we're teaching something or talking
Yeah.
about something, throw it on the table and you pick and poke. You know,
Discuss it. You don't
discuss
have to
it.
wait for like comments
Right.
and people to reply.
Right.
It's just
Two people all at once. It's I don't know what it's going to turn into. Who knows? Who knows, man? I want to get more friends in here and talk shit, laugh, have fun, review things, talk about things, and I'm producing it, so it's tough for me because I got to pay attention to copyright infringements and
that's the thing. You just got to throw
and
it out
different
there.
things.
And I mean,
I just got to, and I also have to control like hate speech and
Yeah.
and violent potential for violence. Like if someone could be enticing violence, you can't start a hate group or
Yep.
you know. So just to produce it and control the whole situation is kind of tough, but
Like you said, you just got to throw the content out there. And
Yeah,
fuck
so
it. If
start
you're
the
gonna
bike
get the
rolling.
trouble, get in trouble, get in
just
trouble.
pull an episode. I mean, I'm gonna have one, 2, 3, 4. I'm numbering them. So if one episode gets pulled, can't wait. Talk about that. You know, it'll be a learning experience. I'll put that shit on the air because I mean, it'll be like, "Hey, everybody, if you're missing episode, blah blah blah, it's because
It's because
look at this,
this,
and
that,
I'm
that.
a
Or you can just
dumbass.
Go back and
I'm a
edit
dumbass, and I messed up.
It.
Yeah, edit it and put it back out there for the
Yeah.
people if they want it, but no
Just
one's
like
really
a-
talking. So
Just
I don't
like
know
an
yet.
ad in between that thing.
Slip an
like
ad
a
in.
sponsor. You're gonna have to re-edit it and like put a sponsor in like.
Probably be like a punishment sponsor. Whoever I talk shit about would make me say a disclaimer in the beginning, and then I wouldn't get any money. But I wonder, like, if you're reviewing something, could you talk, like, if we review something and we all kind of talk shit about it at the table, could they, like, approach us and be like, hey, cease and desist, or blah, blah, blah. Think it shuts down?
There's a
like, if I review a Chromebook and I'm like, this thing is a piece of shit, what do you think? And you're like, that's all right, I don't like it. It's a piece of shit. We both say it's a piece of shit, and you kind of say objective. You say objective, and they would shut me down? What would they do?
I don't think it, so that's going to fall under...
slander.
No, because you can review anything. I mean, it's just your own opinion. And
live opinion.
Yeah, it's just
oppose
your own live
opinion. You're right here to oppose me.
It's not like if you were saying, now the difference is like if you were saying, like, let's take like Google for instance. Like if you were like, oh, I'm reviewing this Google Pixel 3, blah blah blah, I don't like the phone because of XYZ, as opposed to you saying like, oh, I don't like the phone because Google, you know, they're a company and they're listening to our data and they're a terrible company and they need to go down. And then you start forming like, kind of like, I call it like that. What was that guy's name? The dude from InfoWars?
Alex Jones?
Alex Jones. Like, because then a company, like,
what were you're going with a term. What do you mean?
Well, no, like, okay.
Him as a term. Okay.
Yeah, him as a term. Like,
becoming Alex Jones.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Like let's say you did have a controversial podcast or YouTube channel and it just became like it blew up, and it's because you're going after that company. Then they could try to sue you for what do they call it? Defamation,
like slander and defamation.
Defamation,
yeah,
that's what it is.
Slander and defamation. It's real things, and he was fear mongering though.
Who?
Alex Jones.
I don't know the whole story about it, but I saw him this past week, and he was in the Google courtroom. And he was like,
he's so animated.
Loud.
Isn't he so animated?
So loud.
He turns as red as a tomato.
And he's what was he saying?
I liked it when his hair was long because he'd shake his head kind of.
I've never watched any of the shows, but I just remember hearing the fuck Google. Like he's in the court. He was saying, fuck Google or free Google or
fuck Google. Jesus.
He was literally like in the actual like the Senate's there, and the cops are like, "Sir, you're gonna have to step back." They obviously know who he is.
Yeah.
But I just found it funny. And then, like I said, I don't really know his story, but you could see his pain.
He was demonetized across everyone.
Yeah, but I guess something happened with Google, and Google was trying to say that they were... Google did something.
Was he saying, damn you, Google? That's what he was saying?
He was screaming something out. It was a short clip. He was screaming, and he was intentionally trying to scream at the CEO there.
Because he still had a .com. He still had a .com, and that's what he's probably screaming. I don't know the news, but my guess is that he was probably shut down on Google. It had to be.
Well, they did something
because he still had a .com subscriber base, right?
Man,
but
I want to know what
he got banned. He got demonetized first, and then he got banned from everything.
Alex Jones, right?
From everything, from Twitter to Facebook to YouTube to everything. He got removed from all at once to everybody's like abandoned. Like once Twitter did it, I think was the beginning. They just abandoned him altogether. But what was he shouting? What was
he crashed the Google hearing. He wasn't even supposed to be there.
Yeah, see, that's his style, man. That's that fear mongering, dude. That's what the fear mongers do. They come in, I'm surprised he's not picketing with people with like little poster board signs and shit, because he called the Sandy Hook shooting a false flag and said they were paid actors. Yeah, people just lost their children, and you can't do that, man. Get the fuck out of there.
Oh, these are his quotes.
Who do you think you are?
Jones, a far-right conspiracy theorist who accused the nation's leading tech companies of anti-conservative bias, rallied against Google for censorship in the halls of Congress minutes before the meeting began. Sundar and Google are absolutely the worst horrible corporation on earth, Jones says. Jones was flanked by Roger Stone, the longtime associate to President Trump. Jones also crashed a congressional hearing in September. Okay, no, it's not. Yeah, I don't remember what he said. He said something he felt like Google attacked his family. Like he was saying this live, like they attacked his family and it's causing him to blah, blah, blah.
I think he's got enough money to go hide. Go chill.
Is he still on YouTube? I thought they removed him from YouTube.
Those are old ones.
It says right here. So 12, 14, 18, InfoWars, APK. Oh, I bet you it's somebody else uploading like his shit that's on the dark web. I bet you that's what it is. I've never seen his show, but
I'll check it tomorrow, or I'll check it and talk about it next time. But I don't think I think he's completely off all platforms because he's a nutcase, man. And every time, like, he's going to that place and shutting it down, right? And that's his style. That's what he does, man.
Just that's what he is.
Crashes
I'm just surprised.
it.
Just crashes it. And just gets loud.
And then he goes from interview to podcast, interview to podcast, back and forth with inconsistency and looks like bipolar behavior, man. He talks about weird stuff, like Jim Carrey when he says, "Am I real? Is this reality? Is this, am I really real?"
I remember that.
Remember how crazy he kind of got? It's okay. So you want to be written off? That's what it is. You want to be written off, but Alex Jones wants to be written off and held. No, you can't. I mean, someone's got to sit him down and tell him to find the happy medium.
They live that life. That's
he
just
hates conformity, I know, but Jesus Christ,
that's what he lives for.
Just push the boundaries. What he lives for. What else is there? Recently,
I say we do a podcast right.
That's an hour. We did about an hour.
We did about
Keep
an hour.
It short and sweet. We did over an hour. We did over last time.
Yeah. We'll do a nice podcast. Bring up some good like right before Christmas, and then I want to do like before the year's over. We're gonna get somebody outside to do an end of year podcast.
I know, it's like a fucking end of the year goal.
I want to get
someone in here
for sure. Danny will be on. I gotta get.
Yeah, we do have. You want to do it seems like Saturday night's pretty chill. Doing it tonight.
Yeah, I'll see if I'll just tell him to crash on my crib and come down for the podcast, and we'll make it happen. We'll entice him, maybe like buy a pizza or
Saturday
like
night
pizza
or Friday
or
night, doesn't matter. We'll try to
get the conversation flowing or something.
Oh, have a couple beers and a couple pizza.
That'd be cool. All right, so
everybody.
1-1.
This is
11.
episode 11, closing out.
Over and out.
See y'all later.